Welcome to this very special edition of the DGD podcast, as always brought to you by Juan Daniels and Robert Reynolds, the NCDGD himself. Juan, looks like you're at a familiar place. You want to tell us where you are, my man?
Yes, sir. I'm at Alumni Hall here in Athens, and it's actually pretty packed for a Monday afternoon. But if you have an opportunity, I don't this what's all in this store. I mean, it is amazing. Any color, anything that you want, Jordan, get it. You can see here I'm rocking my the black Bulldogs. For blackout the band. Everything here is amazing. You've got people all over the place, and hey, we're here in God's country.
Doing the Lord's work is what I'm talking about.
Yes, doing the Lord's work.
So obviously the show is brought to you by our guys over at Alumni Hall, right? As you can tell, as one is there. Listen, excellent apparel selection, apparel accessories, all that, right? Right in Athens, 10 minutes from campus. Go check them out. I'm telling you right now, it's the ultimate Bulldog shopping experience, guaranteed. Juan's in there. I mean, I can tell you. I'm just being honest with you. But look, so the show has, goodness gracious, Juan. I don't know if you've seen this as one changes. Holy, look at that. Look at all that Georgia gear. That's all I'm gonna say. That makes you want to say, how about them dogs? The clocks. Ooh, not a Georgia Tech thing in sight. I like it. There we go. No, that's nice right there. That's nice. Juan, so I don't know. You've been busy, my man. But so has the show. I don't know if anybody else saw the tweets earlier, but we are now a part of the SEC Unfiltered podcast network, brought to our friends over at Chris Phillips. He's hashtag Juan, buy me a shirt.
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
Oh man. No, so obviously, we're glad to be a part of the SEC Unfiltered Network now. So for those listening on podcasts, nothing really will change, just the distribution of it will change platforms per se. So shouldn't impact those listening wherever you get your podcast. But glad to be a part of SEC Unfiltered. My guy Chris is leading the charge there, and definitely one of those things where I'm looking forward to it. I think our show is going to grow. So obviously, we want to help each other out and make each other get better. Juan, what a weekend. What a weekend. What a weekend. Listen, it's going to be hard to do this. It's going to be hard to do this. But as you know, we have started the campaign, Make Juan Laugh Again. Okay. With today's news, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if it's going to happen too much.
It's going to be a tough one. Yeah.
Oh, man. The brigade's going to try, though. Okay. The brigade will try. Juan, with that being said, I want to ask you this. We're going to go start off with the elephant in the room. Justice Haynes going to Bama. Complete shock to me. I think it was everybody else, complete shock. When you heard the news, what went through your head?
Definitely shocked. I know Veron, that, his son decided to go somewhere different, was definitely shocking. The running back room at Georgia would have been a perfect place for him to come into for Justice, in 2023. And but again, sometimes they just make choices. Just like with the Arch Manning, it's not over. It doesn't mean just because he made that commitment. So already, I'm not even 3 minutes into the show, and I'm already cracking up. Patrick doesn't. So yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what makes you laugh.
Right. Yeah. So it's definitely not over that February signing date or even that early December signing date. So hopefully we'll still have an opportunity. Veron will have a chance to talk some sense into his son, maybe even ground him.
If we're talking grounded, that is, oh boy, that's dangerous. Now, obviously, listen, I understand, right? Like legacy commits, everybody wants to assume that they're penciled in where their parents played, and that's not always the case, right? And I think this is a prime example. But listen, there's no way to get around it. that first off, this news is just one of those things that's hard to swallow right now. I mean, when you look at the overall scheme of the recruiting for 23 cycle, losing out or missing out on Arch, missing out on Justice, missing out on Caleb Downs more than likely, right? The way it's seeming to be, that is tough to swallow if you're a Georgia fan, especially coming off that natty, right? We always talk, about recruiting and how the floodgates will open when natty, when we won the natty, right? But right now, it doesn't seem that way from an optics perspective, right? Um, but I'm telling you right now, if you're a Georgia fan, hope is not lost. All hope is not lost. I'm just going to leave that there. Okay. Um, I sat there, wrote a piece on the Patreon last night. What's next after Justice, right? I think you're going to get a guy in the 23 cycle, but there's a kid up here by the name of Jonathan Paler in the 24 cycle up here in Burlington. Kid, oh my God. I don't even know how to explain it. The kid is bona fide. That's all I'm going to say. He's not your 6'1" type running back. Right? He's a smaller guy, but he's like 5'9", 5'10", I think it is. But he puts weight on him. He's super athletic and can easily catch out of the backfield. Right? Look at and I'm going to take an example here. Look at what Alabama's done. Right? Back in the day, you used to have guys like Derrick Henry, they're 6'4". I know he's an anomaly, but like you used to see guys 230, 240, 220, right? Running backs like that. Now you look at their projected starters. What Jahmyr Gibbs is not even barely cracking 200, right? Under 6 feet.
Yeah,
Hope's not lost, and I think Paler could be a guy, right? I think that if Georgia pushes hard for it, you could see him go to Georgia, and I'd love that. I would absolutely love it. Just being able to see what I've seen, on TV here up in North Carolina, like I'm all for that. So we'll go to the brigade for just a second. Tennille just had Waffle House for the first time in a year. That's impressive. And Patrick, you didn't miss. Patrick, I don't know what all did you miss. He was gone for a minute. So, um, Patrick, there's a lot that happened in a minute.
yeah, it was. It
Um,
was.
yeah, our brigade's coming in hot and heavy already. I'm just gonna say that there. Um, but let's continue with the justice situation, right? I think what made the situation even worse, Juan, was the fact that in the interview it said we were third for him, right? And I think because of the optics of that, right? Like I think because everybody had penciled him down as a Georgia guy, it hurt even worse, right? But at the same time, like with legacy commits, doesn't always mean they're going to go to the same place, right? I think they
Yeah,
want to do their own thing most of the time. So I think it's a definite wake up call for Georgia in the sense that not anybody is a lock. Nobody's a lock. You still got to recruit them. Just don't sit there and pencil it in, right? Just don't do it because
right.
you'll get
Well,
burned,
I
right?
mean, again, we talked about it, all is not lost. I think a deterrent for when they're looking at Georgia is the fact that they rotate these backs so much. So you don't really have an option. If you're at Alabama, you're going to be a feature. If you're Michigan, all these places, you're going to be the feature back. Just with Justice going to Buford, they have the same system where they rotate a lot of. You're not going to get these, outstanding, gaudy stats that you're normally used to. 2 or 3. There's going to be 2, 3, maybe 4 backs in the backfield that he's going to be rotating with. So understand what that means, the wear and tear on your body, the opportunity to go in there. He may change his mind about Georgia, may reconsider, and then see the dynamics of Buford are the same as that of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that kind of leads on to another portion of this, and the fact that Georgia it seems to cannot pick a kid out of Buford is just alarming to me, right? I mean, you're well versed with Buford, so you know exactly what Buford brings to the table, and the fact that Georgia has seemed to have no luck in Buford to me it's concerning, more so than
Yeah,
missing
I
out
mean,
on anyone in particular.
you sit there and look at it. So right now at Nebraska, you have Gabe Grant, who were two of the biggest and best running, two of the biggest and best running backs, Buford. And so the fact that they're not at a University of Georgia playing football. And, Gabe Irvin, before he got hurt, was playing a lot as a freshman and going to have a two-headed monster. So don't be surprised if Nebraska actually comes back and makes a big splash, from the years past.
That's interesting to news. That's interesting news to me. So we hear, Tanil wishes that any of her daughters would come to Georgia. Um, Legacies matter, and also Black Adonis. Obviously, he's a Buford alum, but he thinks that there's definitely been a drop off of Buford top athletes going to Georgia. So I think he's reflecting the sentiment here, that how we feel. And look, yeah, you may obviously missing out on Justice. Not necessarily a purebred Buford guy, right? Transferred in. But look at guys in the 24 cycle. Juan, we've talked about several of them almost ad nauseum at times. You don't want those guys to go to Bama because when you talk about the likes of King Joseph, KJ Bolden, right, Edric Houston, you don't want those guys to go. You really don't. You really don't.
Right. And
Now, I want
it's
to ask
funny
you
too,
a
because
okay.
if you look at it, Black Adonis, he was an unbelievable athlete at Buford. He actually plays quarterback in a league in Minnesota. I think they're called the Freeze. But even the talent when he was there, and then he would have been looked at to go to Georgia, and the what prepares you to go and play anywhere in the nation. I mean, that is just how rigorous the speed and conditioning and everything, and even from a academic standpoint, from academics, and then of course being a student, Buford prepares you for all of that, and the fact that they're choosing to go to last year, Jake Pope and Isaiah Bond, that decided to go to Alabama, the starting center for the national championship last year that played at Bama. So there's obviously a disconnect. There's something that's missing, but Buford, and the fact that Justice comes over to Buford and then chooses Bama, something has got to in there and make a bigger presence when it actually comes to Buford football.
I was thinking about this too. One, right? You look at what we're seeing right now with the in-state, right, position rankings and things like this. If you look at the top 10, I think maybe one or two at most are committed to Georgia. And to me, that's not locking down the state. I heard about this, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Apparently, could this be a doing of Georgia's own success? When you look at guys like Keely Ringo and Brock Bowers getting them guys from out of state, could this be hurting the in-state recruiting because you would just want a national title with out-of-state guys and not those in-state guys? Could that be? I hope that makes sense, but could that be something Georgia's experiencing right now?
I don't think so. I think if you grow up a Georgia fan and you are diehard Georgia to go, you want to stay in state. You want to go to Georgia. So it just depends. I would love from the future. I would love to ask these guys that are being recruits, when they were younger, and they just started to pick up a football or helmet. Who's your favorite school and why? And from there, and then if they decide they don't want to go to Georgia, if Georgia was their favorite, what was the different coaching? Is it who's in front of you? But at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those things that if you're go to Georgia and you're going to go play for the University of Georgia.
Yeah, see, I had heard that, and it made me wonder. So I felt like, you playing at Georgia and all your Georgia ties, like I felt like it needed to be addressed just to see what your thoughts were. Going back to the brigade here, 6033 says legacy is important. It sucks, but next man up. And listen, I think you still have to understand that, you need to trust Kirby and company right now, right? Is it concerning that you see these guys, not going to Georgia? Yes. Is it concerning that you're not necessarily locking down the state, if you will? Yes, a little bit. But like you said, we're gonna keep repeating this. Not all hope is lost, and you have to trust Kirby and company. Now, are you going to land a top 3 class? We'll see, right? But I still think you're going to be in contention for a top 5 class. Does that knock you down a peg? I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, 2024 is going to be the class where you have to lock down the state. You have to lock down Georgia as a state because there is just too much elite talent in the class of 24 that you cannot let teams like Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, you cannot let them come in and ramp and just ransack the state. You can't do it in 24. There's just too many good kids. There's just too many.
Yeah, yeah, you're too. That I just I saw something on Twitter where it just talked about just the high school, not just in football but all around. And so if you look at the baseball draft of guys that were in the top 15, and then one of them being Dylan Lesko from Buford.
Yep.
He used to play quarterback. He used to play defensive end for us in high school. You look at the state of Georgia and look at the talent. Look at the Super Bowls. Look at the national teams where you're having a lot of success. A lot of these are Georgia high school kids. And so lock down and not let these players get out. So, unfortunately, we've let the Trevor Lawrences get out of Georgia, and guys from other places are leaving Georgia and going to other places. And if we then just imagine what Kirby's going to be able to do. But just like Kirby, I think trust Kirby's doing exactly what he needs to do. There were guys that he took from the portal, so that should be alarming to these other teams. Cooking up, he's got something absolutely excellent coming up. And they're just building and growing that talent to make another run for a national championship.
Without a doubt. Now, obviously, we're about to get out of the doom and gloom, folks. I promise you. But in the meantime, Juan, we're going to transition over to SEC media days and things like this. But first off, I want to see I want to hear what it's like right now. So you're at Alumni Hall right now. Like, tell me about the vibe in that place, man. Like, I'm sure we have a bunch of people here in Georgia. Maybe you've been, maybe you haven't. From what the looks of thing, when you flip the camera around and stuff like that, it is just a massive arrangement of Georgia gear, and that makes me excited. So I think that's the thing with me, right? Looking at Alumni Hall, dude, I'm telling you right now, I cannot wait for this season. Listen, I got to get me one of the block jerseys. Juan, you're familiar with the block jerseys. I need to get me a block jersey. So maybe it's something, if I can get down to a Georgia game, I might just have to hop in the store. Just might have to do it. Just have to do it.
You will not be sorry. I'm just saying, like you just talk about the vibe. I mean, it's happening, and it's right just kind of in a shopping mall here, and it just kind of stands alone by in here. There's so much gear. There is just, I mean, it's just a Georgia dream, and just look and get everything from, again, shirts and shorts and koozies, drink, hats, pencils, pen, whatever you want. So, like I said, this is going to be your one-stop shop for everything that you need before, after championship gear. This is going to be the place.
Oh man, I'm a polo guy, so I love keeping an eye out for the new polos and stuff like that. I just love the feel of them. So you know how that goes. But not go listen. If you're listening, if you're watching, make sure to check out Alumni Hall. Right there in the heart, or I would say right there in Athens, I should say. I ain't gonna say the heart of Athens, but right there in Athens, like I said, 10 minutes away from campus. Check them out. Also have an online store if you're not able to make it to Athens or whatever the case may be. That is www.alumnihall.com. Give them a shout out, and you can also find them on the DGDpodcast.com. So www.dgdpodcast.com, and you can go and you can find Alumni Hall there as well if you're more versed with our website. So with that being said, we're going to take it to the brigade. Black Adonis asks, any chance NIL is impacting these decisions? Yes. Tanil, excuse me. Tanil also said that teams like us aren't as guided by NIL, and I agree with that. I think Kirby's not going to be he's not going to put Georgia in a situation with a bidding war. You just won't see it happen. He wants guys that want to come here and they win and get developed and go to the NFL. Not saying that they're not pushing out for NIL, but I'm just saying I think you're not seeing as big as a push like you're seeing like Louisville or Miami or Texas or A&M. You're not going to see Georgia do what those teams are doing. It's just not what Georgia's bread and butter is right now. It's just not.
Right. And you don't end up losing out because of that. Because you look at it, Marquise Killebrew, who was a Georgia commit, Texas A&M, and we know what that was about. That was NIL. You also look at LB Overton, and he was almost just kind of projected to be a Georgia player, and then he Texas A&M. He actually reclasses, graduates early, and then goes to Texas. It's really one of those things that we just gotta just kind of look at it. I think that us, we do not buy into the NIL, and I think that's the right way to go. And I would that Alabama is just kind of the same way, that they don't necessarily buy in, because he called out Texas A&M for what they're doing with.
Don't get me started with Jimbo now. Don't get me started. So we'll take our next question here. Michael B. He thinks it's unfair to say, "Oh, that's NIL." Anytime Georgia loses a recruitment battle. Personally, he thinks that Justice recruitment, NIL had no bearing on that decision. I agree with that. I think, first off, before we want to bash anybody, respect what Alabama just did, because what they did is impressive. You just pulled a legacy kid out of state that was a foreseen Georgia player, and you just picked him right out of thin air, right? Now, what caused that? It is what it is, but it's still impressive. So you have to give credit when credit is due. But Georgia has to rebound. You have to lick your wounds. It's just another battle. Is it one that you shouldn't have missed? Yes, I agree that you should not have missed on this, but things happen. Still not going to say that it's on the level of missing Travis Hunter, though. But we're leaving that out of Tallahassee town. That's all I'm going to say. But listen. So, with that being said, as Texas ATM, the 6033, so, listen. Don't talk much right now, but they're 60th right now in recruiting with only 5 commits. I think they wasted that ATM money. They have to wait for the reload, the recharge, so they can pull money out maybe. I don't. Oh God, Juan, you just got a question that you might have to answer on this one.
Yeah. I did get it. It was like a roll of stamps back in the day. So that's the best that I could get way back then. And but as far as beating me 24, that's just not going to happen. I may be the best when it comes to whether it be PlayStation, what is it, Xbox, online, Etch a Sketch, on paper.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, Dreamcast, whatever it is. I'll always be the best, when in television.
Tecmo Bowl, let's go.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl. Yeah, I'm always gonna bring it.
No, listen, I'm sorry, but Juan Daniels would beat Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl. I'm just gonna leave it at there.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't playing at the time.
That's true. Yeah, I can still.
It's like Michael.
I can still beat him.
Juan Daniels, in like, it's like your Madden 04 Mike Vick almost.
Yeah.
Just do it all. Heinz Ward.
Right.
Hashtag Juan fan club. Hashtag Juan knows.
Like Bo.
Juan, let's talk about
those, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't get me started with that guy either. Anyways, let's talk SEC Media Days, man. What are some expectations here, right? I think it's already underway. Day one, you have Lane Kiffin. It's always fun to listen to. You've got Eli Drinkwitz, and who else was it? Brian Kelly from LSU. Right, that's your day one coaches. Doing their SEC Media Days. What are you thinking? What's going to come out of this? I think there's already been talks that Texas and Oklahoma are going to be in the conference in 25. That's when they're joining. So now we have that, and that's Greg Sankey. That's from the words of Greg Sankey himself. So with that being said, now you can start looking for 2025 concepts of what's going to happen from a scheduling standpoint or whatever. I thought it would be all together, but I was wrong. What are some takeaways? What are your some predictions? What are you looking forward to with SEC Media Days?
I'm looking forward to Brian Kelly and just to see his assessment of what he found in LSU and what his expectations are and how he's going to handle it. I mean, you're an independent, and then you're just coming into the best conference, and so what are you going to do recruiting wise? What is going to be your spiel? And I would really love, when he was spinning around doing the little video with the I can't even remember what, or going somewhere else. I think he ended up going to like Alabama or something like that. But he's going to rude awakening those fans down there at LSU. They don't play games. It's either win or with Orgeron, you go and win a national championship, and the next thing you know, like it'll be a different experience for him. And then of course with Lane Kiffin, I'm just excited for Lane to be in the comments. Is he going to say who's he going to take jabs at? I think a lot of it he'll probably IL deal and take some jabs at Texas A&M like he normally does. And of course, he definitely see debacle, where he ends up getting, was it hit by something? But I'm pretty sure people.
It was the golf ball. It was a golf ball.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure people are gonna ask him about that. And then of course he has coming back, and then what you have with LSU, a pretty good recruiting class that just came in. So I'll be interested to see and be able to make an impact with this program.
All right, Juan, I'm going to do a little gentleman's bet here. The brigade can help out here. You can place your bets as well. We'll come back for scientific research on this at later time. Over under, how many times does Brian Kelly say family? The number's 1.5.
I'm going to say I'll definitely take the over.
I'll take the under. I think he learned his lesson at that LSU basketball game. All right, Juan, I got a question for you. While we were talking about SEC Media Days, I just crossed my mind, and I needed to get this out. What are your thoughts on The Gritty by Dabo Swinney? I understand the context, what he was doing, right? Raising money for breast cancer awareness. Rate that Gritty on a 1 to 10. What do you think?
I would just give it an F. He doesn't even get a number. You just get an F. To the leave that. I'm getting up there. I'm almost 50, and I really kind of I feel like I'm one of the cool kids still, but I'm not confident.
I could see Juan doing The Gritty. I'm just saying, I could see it happening. I'd probably tear an ACL or something. Like, nah, no, that ain't me. So Juan, I posed a question to our brigade. If you could ask an SEC coach, any SEC coach, one question, what would it be?
I would pick Jimbo Fisher, and it would be, how do you sleep at night?
You took my
I really would. For him, just he's the slimy used car salesman. If you're a used car salesman,
he's Matilda's dad. He's Matilda's dad.
He going back to Florida State with the Jameis Winston, and just him just being just slimy. I would just ask, how do you sleep at night? And then you come to Texas A&M, talked about, I think it was the last program. I don't know a single person or a single kid up and say, hey, I want to go to Texas A&M. I'm a big time Texas A&M fan. I just have all these recruits. Nah, I don't think so. Sorry to Neil for putting years on it. That was my bad. And yes, we did talk about the Washington.
See, Juan, you took my fun away because I wanted to ask Jimbo, why you always lying? Anyways, I'm gonna switch it up anyway. I want to ask Mike Leach, what does push and pee mean? And see his response. Think about that. Because my man has come up with some of the craziest off the wall stories, right? We heard, well, he's a pirate. He hates candy corn. Fair assessments, by the way. I want to see if he's familiar with the culture. Could he do the gritty? Does he understand what push and pee means? Like these things I need to know if he's for the culture or not. Okay. I think he is. I think he would be, in all seriousness. I seriously think he would be. Uh, he loves Bigfoot, Tanil just said. There you go. He's probably seen Bigfoot over Washington State. Let's be honest.
Probably,
Um,
yeah.
so I mean, I think there's another one right there too. Like, but if I'm going to be serious though, if I'm going to be serious, I would look at Billy Napier and ask him what is the hardest thing so far since he's become a Florida Gator. Because in my opinion, and I hate the Gators, you know this one, me and you both, he has probably got so much work put out on him just since he got here because of the lack of management that Dan Mullen put out there, right? Like you're having to change the culture, you're having to change staff, you're having to change minds to get people more invested to spend money, right? Look at all the recruiting staff they've got since he's been there. It is extremely difficult, I'm sure, to fix the mess that Mullen left. So I'm just saying, oh my God, why is the 60-33 DGD disrespecting Pittman like that? I love Sam Pittman. My goodness.
But I mean, that's fair. If you look,
I mean, it is.
I would
Wow.
also ask. I'd love to ask Brian Harson, how do you how from all the stuff that just took place last year? I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. Auburn still keeps him as the head coach. Like, how do you go out on game day and continue to coach, knowing all of that stuff is swirling? Are you going to be able to focus? I mean, you've lost coordinator after coordinator, position coach after, because you're down there running a circus.
One, will Kirby do nothing but speak, coach speak, when he comes up for SEC Media Days? Will you see anything outside of traditional coach speak?
Nope, you won't. Too much saving in him. He's got too much saving in him. He's
I don't know. Saban over the years, man.
everything's gonna,
Saban's evolved.
yeah,
Saban's
politically
evolved.
correct.
He's opened up a little bit.
Everything's, yep, close to the vest. They don't want to bulletin board material, and that's just that.
Over under despicable. How many times Jimbo uses that when he gets brought up? Over under 8. How many times will you hear despicable being brought up by him?
I'm going to take the under on that one.
Because my man ain't
I'm going
got
to
my
take
man ain't got room to talk. My man ain't got room to talk. That video came out. Oh no 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 no.
That was bad. That was
No, you know my thoughts exactly on that because you were live with me when I talked about that.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I cannot, because of your location, I'm obligated not to reiterate what I've said on that show. That's all I'm going to say. I'm doing it for the people.
Yeah, for the people.
Now, when we're not at Alumni Hall, it's a different story.
Everything is.
No, so Patrick thinks he's going 6. Tanil thinks Kirby's going coach speak all day. Let's lock it down. Boom. Coach speak all day. Yeah. Why do I feel like nobody will listen to Eli today?
Why would you? Yeah.
Yep. What about Clark Lee?
I mean, let me ask you, you're Clark Lee, and you've just taken over Vanderbilt. It shouldn't even be like your media day should be just thank for splitting, giving them a portion of the money that they win each and every day, each and every year. That's about it. And you should also be pleading the SEC. That's what his should be. Should be more pleased than talking about the program.
I have my reservations on Vanderbilt and why they're still in the SEC. Just leaving that there. It's gonna bite my tongue, per se, because they are about as useless as anything I can muster up. I don't want to say it. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings that might be in store today. It's useless. It's useless. Privacy clause. Yep.
Yeah. Privacy clause. There you go.
Apparently, now in all seriousness, too, I think SEC Media Days is the unofficial start to the season. I would say, right? Juan, take us back to your playing days with SEC Media Days. I don't think it was necessarily as televised and all the media hype and everything like that, or was it? What was it
No,
like?
it was. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you just had an opportunity, a couple of players, and just kind of just talk about the season, talk about the expectations, and your season's going to look like, your hopes, the go for SEC championships and wanting to accomplish. And for us, it was a little bit different time. We couldn't be our lives, so it was almost like all of our SEC media days was, can we beat Tennessee and Florida or an SEC championship? And and back when my freshman years when they actually had SEC championship that was played at a neutral site. Just kind of talking about your program, injuries, the previous year, coaches just kind of making little digs at other coaches for whatever reason. But it was as big as how it is right now.
Yeah, see, my thoughts is because I know, like, with players going to, right, like, well, I think
1946.
The Boomer Bowl is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, we actually took trains to our games. So.
Ironically, you said that one. There was SEC. I think it was something on SEC Network yesterday talking about basically history of SEC football, pretty much. Yeah, they did take trains. Hopefully, nobody put pig grease on the tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
No, I'm just gonna leave that there. I definitely think that trains was the way to go back then. Surprised you didn't take a Jeep or something, or like a Sherman tank or something.
Covered wagon. We had their covered wagons.
Like the working trail.
We Indians and stuff. Yeah, getting to the games. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the wagon wheel fell off. Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
So that would delay it for a couple days.
Oh boy. Juan, we're gonna give is there anyone there that has any questions?
Well, I wanted to, if I can get Sarah. So when she comes back out, I definitely want her to, to plug the store, and just tell everybody a little when she gets an opportunity.
I'm looking forward to seeing the store and hearing from her as well. I think obviously want to thank her and thank the folks at Alumni Hall for letting us do this today. So basically, we get to use store property to have fun with it. Is all I'm going to say. Definitely have fun with it. As Juan comes back, there he is. I'm assuming she's asking for a link. I'm putting it in the chat.
For the store.
The link is right there for anybody in the chat. But if you want to check out their website, it's www.alumnihall.com. Yeah, check them out. Definitely check them out.
If you don't mind, we just want you to just come and just talk about the store. This is an impromptu. So here comes
impromptu plug.
comes
Impromptu plug. Let's do this.
So,
Hi.
Hello. Welcome
Hi.
to the DGD
How are you?
podcast. So tell us about Alumni Hall.
So it's really like a company. We have them all over, but we're the only one in Georgia. So we just sell. We have our deals for our T-shirts every day. The 2 for $20. And then we just have our usual the sideline all the time. Our Nike, our new Nike Golf, and everything. And we just sell men's, women's, kids, everything down to toddler and infant sizes. We're usually always, most of us are here almost every day, but we're always ready to come in. So we just love to support the dogs, and whenever out as much as we can.
If you support the dogs, you're a friend of mine. Is all I'm going to say. As our chat also says, it they love the shirt, and Sarah is elite. So there you go with that. Now there's some new stuff that's going to be coming out, and I, for one, am super excited about this. And that's the coaches line, right? I loved it last year.
Right.
Absolutely loved it. Right. I love the polos that come out. Is there any timeline when that's going to be available? Do you know?
So typically we don't have like a date range comes into the store, but we do know that Nike is a little bit behind on shipping out everything. I know that this year we are going to be getting in some cool new jerseys, especially since they won the national. So we have a couple of different styles. So I think that those are probably going to be more September, but we are starting to get in more of like the newer polos for this year. Getting in a couple of sizes of the coaches, but we will get those in probably like mid-August.
I'm absolutely excited for that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I am a definite polo guy, so It's coming time. It's coming. I can't wait. Listen, hey, thank you for letting us host the show in Alumni Hall.
Thank you for coming in.
So, like I said, make sure to go check out in store, right, in Athens, Alumni Hall, or online, www.alumnihall.com. Go tell Sarah what's up in the store. Just go tell her what's up and see what she does.
Thank y'all so much.
Hey, thank you. The impromptu plug, Juan, she handled that very well. I was surprised.
Yeah, that
I was surprised.
Hey,
the brigade didn't do something crazy. The brigade is unpredictable. Okay. If Roots was in here, oh boy.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to one of my boys, Kendall Gordon. Doc asked me to grab him some gear, so I'll make sure I'll get you something, Kendall.
Listen, so if you're watching, if you're listening, and you do decide to go and get something from Alumni Hall, let them know that we sent you. Tell them you heard about Alumni Hall from us. That lets them know that, hey, okay, these guys actually, have some pull. But no, in all seriousness, just let them know that we sent you. Listen, check out the stuff. I promise you won't be disappointed. Polos are comfortable, extremely comfortable. I got 2 Columbia polos, and I made the perfect decision on grabbing the right ones. I'm just going to leave that there. Very, very comfortable. There's Kendall with a thumbs up. Kendall with a thumbs up. Mention Juan.
So don't mention my name because they'll increase the price.
God, mighty inflation.
You might get.
So I need to reach out to Sarah and see if she can get us a shirt printed that has #Juan fan club on it and charge $40 because it's Juan. Oh boy. I'm just gonna leave it there. Juan, let's wrap the show up. All right. Let's tell some people about what's going on this week. Tomorrow, if you're listening on podcast and you get it Tuesday, I will be basically doing a live show, trying to In Greensboro, obviously, for Jamal Jarrett's commitment. So obviously he's down to Georgia, Auburn, and UNC. So we're going to get a live commitment from Jamal Jarrett tomorrow. So we'll be there live from Jamison Stadium in Greensboro there. And also, we are starting Friday our enemy intel series, guys. We're going to start off with South Carolina. This is in no particular order. We're just going to talk about our opponents. This does not include Samford and Kent State, right? It does not include those. So basically, our content up until the season starts will be covered with understanding our opponents. Listen, there's a lot of content last year that if you go back on, the folks that we brought on for the teams that we did do this with, they let us know. And perfectly example, obviously Friday we're starting off with South Carolina. My guy Chris Phillips told us about Josh Van. And with that, a few months later, Josh Van torched us 400. And we're like, oh, damn, there you go. Let us know. So this stuff's important to understand what you're looking at. If you get there and you've got a friend that's on the opposing side, you can talk and argue with facts and reason. Okay? Simple as that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Goat. Are we hearing goatflation? Oh boy. All the hashtags.
Yeah.
This brigade is full of hashtags, and I'm not mad at all. Not mad at all.
Yeah.
Juan, listen, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We're gonna go about our day. I need you to make sure you don't buy everything in the store.
I'm gonna buy a lot of stuff because we're definitely gonna, black out the bins. So.
And absolutely. So if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, black out the bins, maybe this is your first time watching the show, but listen, our friends over at the Spike Squad have asked to black out the bins, and the DGD podcast is also willing to oblige and help the Spike Squad with their request. So if you're watching, if you're listening, black out the bin September 3rd or do it from home. Either way. As you can see, goodness gracious. There you go. Wow, that was terrible. Juan's already wearing black. He's ready to go. I'm not. I'm such a terrible Georgia fan. So I'll do better. I'll do better for the people. Juan, with that being said, any parting words, any final words before we wrap up and get ready for our next episode, starting enemy intel?
I'm just going to say it's the biggest and best, and also too, Alumni Hall. Thank you so much for allowing us to run your store, and that's it.
Wow. Everything Juan touches is blessed, so the prices go up. Trust the Midas touch. Patrick's coming in heavy.
And thanks, Kendall. We're going to have you on the show. Kendall's another guy kind of like Billy, though. We'll have to have him come on and do one of our shows with us.
Yeah, no, that was always good times there. With that being said, Juan, go enjoy your Alumni Hall visit again, and we're going to wrap this thing up, and we're going to go and enjoy the day. Listen, you might have a commit tomorrow. You just got to tune in here, 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, only on YouTube, by the way. Live commitment for Jamal Jarrett. See if he becomes a dog. Maybe he's a Tar Heel. You never know. Don't know. Don't trust them crystal balls for shit. Just going to leave that there. Sorry, that's one slip up. With that being said, #Juan Fan Club, go Dogs. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and follow where you get your podcast, the audio portion. Have a great day. Go Dogs.